Hey everyone, I just wanted to do a quick review of the brand new SH Figuarts Dragon Ball Z Evil Majin Buu figure. I've been waiting for this one for a long time. I'm happy that it's finally here. I mean, it's released in Japan and Hong Kong, but I think there's still a month to go before it's due to release in the US. But this is a very nice figure. I wanted to compare it to an old Jakks Pacific 2003 Majin Buu figure, and it just goes to show you how far figures have come in terms of detail, sculpt, and articulation. And even the size comparison is kind of funny to look at. It's cool because this height is more accurate to the anime, especially if you were to have him standing up to other characters from the Buu saga. So like here's the Great Saiyaman and Mr. Satan. So as you can see, he's a really tall figure. And then having him standing up next to Ultimate Gohan, you can see that he towers over him. And so, with that said, although Gotenks is not in perfect scale with other Z fighters, it seems like he was scaled to, you know, be with Evil Buu. So that's pretty good. And so, yeah, it's cool to finally have him in the Figuarts line because I was waiting for one for a long time, and I know that in the past, Tamashii Nations had a booth where they had the Buu figures, but with like Gohan and Gotenks absorbed. So I guess this is going to be their first model, and I'm kind of hoping that in the future they'll make more Buu figures because it's my favorite saga, my favorite villain. But anyway, right out of the package, you can see that he has really nice details, and the little like vents on his body have good paint apps. There's no like bleeding. It's like a perfect, excuse me, perfect circle. And there's really not a lot of like bad paint apps at all. Like I've noticed on some products, like the blue for his tongue will like bleed out onto his teeth, which ends up looking kind of like bad. But honestly, on my figure, it's pretty good. And even right down to the gold trim on his like wrist cuffs, whatever you want to call them. And then the nails are painted very nicely. I also love the Majin symbol on his belt. So yeah, it's a very nice figure. I'll show you the package real quick. It's a pretty big package. Has all of the authentic seals. This is the Hong Kong release because it has the red sticker. And then, you know, of course, the newer Tamashii Nations quality seal, which they started, you know, putting on the figures ever since, I think, last October when Bulma was released. So yeah, I love all the pictures on the box. Here on the back. I thought adding an extra optional head and effect part for Majin Buu was good too. You know, the fat version or the Zen version, whatever. And then there's that little seal too. So yeah, very nice. Here are his accessories. That's the effect piece, which is pretty cool. These are the default hands that he comes with when you take him out of the box. The nails are painted pretty well and sculpted well. I actually have the fists on him. That would be right here. Pretty cool. And then he has some nice open palm hands. Like he's gonna do like an energy blast or whatever. Like that scene when he was on top of Kami's lookout and he lifted his hand up and he like pretty much wiped out all of the humans. He has a few like different optional posing hands, like pointing fingers. So that's pretty cool. And then I love his extra facial expressions. Look really cool. They really captured his facial expressions really well. Like he looks like he came right out of the anime. So, you know, when you're going from 2D to 3D, it's probably not very easy to you know, capture likeness of certain characters, but there was no issues with this one. And on top of all of that greatness, he's very posable. So you know, his head, where his head connects to his neck, has pretty good motion, you know, back and forth motion. And then his neck is pretty good too. It's not the best motion, like it's kind of hindered by, you know, this part right here, but it's not that bad. You can still get him to tilt his head like he does in the anime to make him look really like sinister. He has a very nice butterfly joint, actually. It goes out really far, which is good. See, so on both, and I kind of like that because you can have him kind of like crouched down like this, like he's in that sleeping form, where he's like laying, like, you know. And so with that said, as you can see, he has a pretty good crunch, like ab crunch. If you look inside there, you can kind of see the technology of articulation. So yeah, but then when it comes to like this part, like you can see there's a cut for him to like move a little bit. It's kind of limited, to be honest. It doesn't really move that much, but it's there, so that's good. And then, you know, he has a really nice range of motion here. It could go really far out, above 90 degrees, which is good. And then he has a nice cut here. He has double jointed elbows. So you get better than 90 degrees. It's just, it looks kind of ugly right here because that's sticking out right here, but that's just a minor gripe. They could have, you know, fixed that, but, you know, they did pretty good. And then one thing I didn't think he'd have in terms of articulation, he has like a little cut by the trim. So if you look, like, see, it's like a little, can't really capture it too well on camera, but yeah, he, excuse me, he has like a little cut there. And then he actually does have pretty good motion here in his wrists. Let me try to like put that up there. So like if you see here, it goes, yep, see, it's a ball joint, so it's pretty good. And then the cuffs are actually pretty pliable, so it doesn't really hinder a lot of the articulation in his wrists, which is good. He has no waist swivel or anything, but, you know, what do you expect? And then he has pretty good motion in his legs. He has that, you know, new standard articulation for the Figuarts. I mean, he can do splits, that's for sure, but it looks kind of ugly on the bottom. I don't know why they did that, but it's not a big deal. And then he has this cut right here. And then a really good range of motion for his knees. And it doesn't look that ugly at all, too. It looks pretty, like, I don't want to say seamless, but it just, you know, since his pants are baggy, it looks all right. Then he doesn't swivel here, but like for some reason mine is loose. See, it's supposed to be like a peg that goes in, so I'll have to crazy glue that. But he has, you know, pretty good ankle pivot, good range of motion in his ankles, and then of course the little toe articulation. So yeah, he's very posable, which is great. So you can get him into a lot of dynamic action sequences and whatnot. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the figure. Like the final product came out really nice, and I really hope they come out with more Majin Buu figures. So yeah, anyway, that was my little review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm not really accustomed to these reviews. I just like to show the figures off. I try to get them before they release in the US so you guys, you know, get insight into like what they offer. So yeah, let me know if you enjoyed it. Please comment and or subscribe. And until the next Figuarts release. Bye.